Number 4 is listening skills. And with apologies to David Letterman, I have my top 10 list for the top 10 ways to be a better listener. So here we go. Number 10, lose distractions. Turn off the iPad, turn off your computer, close the book, and pay full attention to the other person. Create what Dr. Edward Hallowell calls a human moment, where you connect by paying full attention to the other person. How many of us have ever called tech support and been on the phone with them while we knew that they were Facebooking or checking email or doing something else? You can tell, right? So lose distractions. Number 9, don't finish thoughts or sentences for the other person. Don't you hate it when people do that for you? My wife Janet needs help finishing her sentences. She might disagree with that statement. But you know what we've noticed? We have a great marriage. We're best friends in addition to having this wonderful marriage. But we've noticed that we both finish sentences for the other and we rarely get it right. We only get it right maybe, if we're lucky, half the time. And if two people are as close as Janet and I are, only get it right half the time, how often are you going to be right when you finish sentences for your end user or your customer? Even in your own mind. Because as soon as we do it in our own mind, even if we don't say it out loud, we've stopped paying attention to them, we're paying attention to us. So let them finish. Even if you think you've heard it a million times, and you may have, this might be the one time when you hear something different. It only takes a few seconds, so let them finish. Number 8, don't get defensive. Somebody's giving you feedback, you don't have to agree with them, but listen to what they say, because you might gain some insight that might help you. I pay close attention to evaluations. Sometimes I think, oh my gosh, what are they talking about? And other times I think, oh my gosh, they've got a point. So don't get defensive. Number 7, paraphrase back what you just heard. This is the wisdom of Stephen Covey, who says, if you want to make sure that you understand somebody, paraphrase back what they just said. Now, you may want to ask their permission. Let me make sure I understand you, so I want to paraphrase this back just to make sure I get it. But paraphrase back. That way you can make sure that you got the message that they intended. Number 6, listen to understand, not just to respond. Again, the wisdom of Stephen Covey. Listen for deep meaning. Focus on the other person. It's about them, it's not about you. Listen to understand, not just to respond. Number 5, make good eye contact. Now this can get creepy if you go too far with it. I had a friend years ago, I swear he must have taken some seminar that said, you must always look people in the eye. And so you'd be talking with him, and he'd kind of be doing this. It's like, dude, you can go too far with it. But in this country, we have a mistaken belief that if someone won't look you in the eye, they're being deceitful. That's simply not true, but that's what we believe. And so in order to accommodate that cultural phenomenon, we need to look people in the eye. When you meet somebody for the first time, look them in the eye, shake hands, give them a smile, and that starts off the relationship in the right way. If you're uncomfortable with how far to go with it, let them lead you on it. When they look away, that's the time for you to look away. Get clues for the conversation. Number 4, allow natural pauses in the conversation. In today's world, I think we speak in a much more rapid-fire way than perhaps 100 years ago, and I blame the media for that, because it's a CNN world where you got to go fast, 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 and there can be no dead air because we got to just keep going, keep the tempo up, keep the pace up. It's like, wear me out. Allow pauses in the conversation. Allow it to breathe. Allow people to think about what you just said and what they're saying. Number 3, be honestly empathetic. This goes back to what we were saying earlier. Say you're sorry, but make sure you mean it. And if you can't mean it, then find a way to make it make sense. If somebody's really, really frustrated, upset, maybe you can't relate to why they're upset, but you certainly can relate to having been upset or frustrated at some point in your life. And that's how you're honestly empathetic. Share their excitement. Even if you can't relate to why they're excited, share the fact that they're excited. Number 2, keep an open mind. Another life-changing book I'm going to recommend to you, I think this is the last one, is by Thomas Kida, K-I-D-A. It's called Don't Believe Everything You Think. And he talks about our 6 basic flaws in thinking, and one of them is that we seek to confirm our pre-existing beliefs, and we seek to conveniently ignore anything that contradicts it. So keep an open mind, be open to new information, be open to new ways of doing things. My best friend in Seattle is someone who feels exactly the opposite of the way I do on many issues. We are polar opposites on politics and religion, for example. And yet I have so much respect for him. I admire him so much that I'm willing to admit that if he believes it, there must be something to it. Even though I may not agree with him, because he believes it, there must be something to it. So keep an open mind to new possibilities. And the number one way to be a better listener is stop talking. To quote the Dalai Lama, when you speak, the only thing you hear are things that you already know. Only learn something new when you're listening. So stop talking long enough to listen, to hear what people are really saying.